Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you? Mark Sconti reporting. Good morning on this sixth day of December in the year 2022, and we're continuing to report through thick and thin, through the fog of censorship, the fog of information and misinformation. Right? That's kind of like the theme of our time. Where you remember in the 60s where people were so oppressed and so fed up with the way things were and parents and society telling them what to do all the time. Remember those days in the 60s? And then what happened was men were supposed to have short hair and they started to grow their hair long. Women were supposed to be virgins till marriage, and they were out in orgies. They were having orgies and experimenting with and exploring their sexuality. And young people spoke their minds. They were speaking their minds against war in the 60s Vietnam. Now, I wasn't there. I was a child. But I do see the parallels right now. I think that if we had to pick a time, we are the 1950s right now. We're right at that precipice in time where people are really, really fed up. They look at the media and they watch what CNN and MSNBC is saying, and then they assume that the opposite is true, right? Because most of the time, mainstream media, they read the New York Times, and a story says XYZ happened, and they assume that XYZ didn't happen because it's the New York Times. Those are the times we live in right now, where we have media and politics are all one. Now, is it exclusive to our time right now? Probably not. But is it epic and boiling, reaching the boiling point right now in Western society? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. Right? Now we have to be very careful when we explore the idea of how does this censorship, how does some get permission to speak and some others don't have permission to speak. How does this affect our democracy? Everybody would like to know. Now, we're not allowed to accuse anyone of rigging an election. That would be, I don't know, I guess today in poor taste. There is no such thing as rigging elections. All there is winning, and that there is no other, right? You either win, you do everything you can to prevent the other team from advancing. Now, if it includes interference, well, then that's not really cheating. That's just a foul, right? You get fouled. You accused the other party, the guy running in the other party as being a Russian bot and a Russian asset and a threat to humanity. That's just a foul. That's not, and it's only a foul until it's proven to be incorrect. You could say whatever you want, right, and smear the other guy. You know what I'm saying? So we have this. We have this problem in our great nation of interfering at the highest levels of government, interfering with the natural flow of democracy. Now that appears to be inescapable. We see it in. I'm going to show you, a clip from the White House press secretary, Janet Perret, saying it. You'll see Mark Zuckerberg. He has already said it. You're seeing Elon Musk scream from the rooftops that the company he just bought, in fact, unequivocally, without a doubt, interfered through interference in the 2020 election to smear Trump and get Joe Biden across the finish line. Now, do other types of election shenanigans like ballot stuffing and people voting twice and machines getting hacked and rigged happen? Do those things actually happen? Probably, but that's not the bigger problem. See, you have to, as Noam Chomsky, now the brilliant intellectual of years gone by, is now vilified as a dumb old man who doesn't know what he's talking about. As Noam Chomsky always says, you have to manufacture the consent amongst the people in this sort of system where you the tool of choice is gaslighting. You go out into the public, you tell a big lie about the other guy. Half of the people will believe it, half the people won't believe it, and you then play into the hands of the half that believe it. As Noam Chomsky has always said, and the children, the fans of Noam Chomsky of the 90s, are now the political hacks of MSNBC, CNN, and the like. People like Rachel Maddow, who was a tremendous fan of Noam Chomsky. Once she assumed some sort of power, she dropped Noam Chomsky's theory of the way things actually are, and she opted to promote Russian propaganda for her own gain. Right? So we're going to explore this. I mean, what else do we have? There's nothing else going on right now in the media, but this is it's exciting, interesting stuff. It does look like, I mean, and again, you're going to see, for example, with Facebook, what is the motive to censor? It's money. For Mark Zuckerberg, it doesn't really have to do with morally correct or anything. It has to do with money, as you're going to see, right? What he. So I'll talk about that when we get there. I don't want to blow it up. Good morning, everybody. Mark Scotty reporting. Weevil Girl in the house. Good morning, everybody. Charles B is here. Bronown, Chris Milk, Vinny DiMartini in the house. TJ here as well. James Lopez is here. I think I saw Chris Milk, Jim Gerard. Wake Now is in the house too. Good morning, everybody. We're almost ready to begin. Let me take one final sip of my tea. Oh, so good, man. So anyway, what do we got here? Oh yeah, so this is my thumbnail. These are your top people who throw interference. All right, let's interfere with the political process, right? Because it's fun, and this is what we're paid to do. You got Letitia James over there in New York. I'll show you a little story about her. Mark Zuckerberg going on the record over and over again, startling breaking news about there's some sort of policy and some sort of bill in Congress to monitor and or equalize news content online. We'll talk about it. And Mark Zuckerberg's against it. Mark Zuckerberg says, why should I support independent news when I don't get anything out of that, right? Mark Zuckerberg is actually saying about social media is that it's his. Facebook, he owns it, regardless of how it started, of the people, it was, people's faces coming together on Facebook, right? And that was the driving force. That was the attraction, right? So his interpretation now is, well, news corporations are going to pay me a lot of money to advertise their stupid stories on my site. So why would I turn down that money? I don't care if the stories are fake or real. It doesn't matter to me. It's that they're paying me. Why am I going to support independent news when they're not paying me? Right? They only, in the words of Mark Zuckerberg says that independent news only focuses on their own bottom line. They only do it for their own benefit, and we get nothing out of it. That's factually incorrect. When independent opinions come onto a platform, the platform rises. Everybody is clamoring to see what people are saying. You're driving volume, you're driving traffic to your site by having healthy dialogue, Mr. Zuckerberg, not the other way around. You're looking at your own stupid Wall Street bottom line, taking money from fake news that ultimately is going to choke itself, right? So this dispute of, is there truly a public square in America where people can actually come and speak openly and honestly, and some of them might even call them independent journalists and whistleblowers or whatever you call yourself, right? I don't call myself any of those things anymore. I'm just a guy who makes videos, So we're going to explore that, and we're going to explore these three culprits quite deeply. I have a website. My name is Marcus Conte, and for some reason my video is not found. But here you go. Every morning at 9 a.m. we're live. Right now we're on YouTube 2 because YouTube 1, Marcus Conte 1, is banned and buggered probably because of the Hunter Biden story circulating around. And, this guy, this video maker likes to talk about that because it's fascinating how the FBI, through interference into the 2020 election, confirmed by the owner of Twitter, the good Elon Musk. Talking about stories like that is banned, I guess, right? Or if it's not banned, you could talk about it, but we'll scratch your channel for something else, man, because that's what we do. Oh yeah, you think you're smart? You think you're going to talk about this and then expose us for cutting it out? Oh yeah? Well, we'll go back into your files and we'll look at your history and we'll pick something from 5 years ago that you said that was stupid, and we'll accuse you of cyberbullying and harassing and misinformation. And you talked about the holy vaccine, and that's medical misinformation. And you see what they do? They go back into your records. They go back into the volume of thousands of videos you may have made and say, see, you're a problem. We have to make you go away. But the real problem is that they don't want you talking about what's happening right now, which is what I'm doing right now. Anyway, man. So I have this website. If we go down here on YouTube, we'll head over to DLive. We broadcast live every morning at 9 a.m. with these fine, real people. These are real people off to the left, right? So if anybody ever says, oh, Marcus Conte makes videos and he harasses people and bullies people. Oh yeah, where's the evidence of that? Where the people that are here, I don't know how many people are here on a daily basis. This website, if we go down here on YouTube, man, look, 23 people more, maybe 23 people watching. Who's complaining? Where is the cyber bully that you're talking about? I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make sense, right? People are enjoying themselves. They're talking. They're having a good time. We're giving them a platform. We're giving them a place to engage openly, and where everybody could see it and won't be censored out of the video, right? They're part of the video. The chat is part of the video. The discussion is part of the process, my friends, and you're part of that. Thank you very much. John Griggs says, it's frustrating. Yeah, it is. It's frustrating to some degree. It's also very eye-opening. It's eye-popping. Remember, in this type of work, the obstacle is the way. When you see it, you move towards it. When you see the problem that people are having, there's great voices out there. People like, you remember Amazing Polly? I used to love Amazing Polly, or another woman named the Sane Progressive. These are really pioneers in YouTube, internet speech. I mean, I'm kind of in that category, but I watered it down so that I could still speak somewhat. But we can, hopefully we could turn, hopefully the boat will turn around and we'll get more of a true sense of what people really think in this country, and not what the fake news stuffs down your throat. So let's start here. Oh my God, Ariane, the Artemis capsule is making its way home. Holy smokes, it did it. Look at these startling images. They're fake, Conti. They're fake. Where's the bootlickers? Where's the conspiratorial bootlickers? Come on down, man. Come on in. I do say the moon landing never happened, and that this is not happening right now. There are people amongst us that say that this is not happening. But according to NASA, they're 19 days, 11 hours, and 39 minutes into the flight right now. They are 243,000 miles away from Earth, 5,000 miles away from the moon, cruising at a speed of 1,200 miles per hour. And they're en route 6 days away from returning to Earth. All right? So they did it. They took off. They got through the Van Halen radiation belt and survived. The ship did. Now let's see if they can re-enter. That's a big one. Do they still know the technology to re-enter a fucking ship traveling at 26,000 miles, I'm told, per hour? When it re-enters the atmosphere, can they do it? Can they pull it off without it burning and going up in smoke? We're going to see. So in 6 more days, look at the images. Look at that image, man. It's otherworldly. That's from the wing of Artemis, making a last loop around the moon before it heads back to, I don't know what this half fucking thing is here. Which is which? Is that Earth? Is this Sun? I don't know what it is, but it's fantastic, man. It's all fake, Conti. You're fucking, you believe this shit, man. It's Photoshop. Don't believe it. Don't believe your lying eyes. It can't happen. They can't do it. Humans will never go to the moon. They'll never go to Mars. So after this flight is over, they're now going to attempt to put 4 humans on the same ship and do the same thing, right? Not stay up there as long, because that would be foul to keep people in a capsule for 28 days or 21 days. They'll probably only be up there for like, a couple, maybe 10 days. And then the third Artemis flight will crack down on the moon. We're going to see the whole thing play out again. They're gonna pitch a flag on the moon that waves in the wind, but there is no wind. Right? They're going to put footprints on the moon in the dust, but there is no dust. So we're going to see all that again in 3 years. It's going to be a while. 2 more years before they blast off and do it again with people on it, and then the third flight will land on the moon. So there you go, man. Artemis doing what it's supposed to do. I want to talk about this guy right here. How does government interfere? Throwing interference. Where's my interference video? Let's watch this. Oh, here we go. So this is interference in baseball. This is just a foul. Watch. Let's watch.
Tired is
here we go.
Number.
Boom.
Ground ball to second. Pennington goes to Simmons for 1 and doesn't have a relay.
Oh, shit. He interfered with the play. You can't do that, right? So in baseball, when there's interference, here's a guy running to second base, and he slides into second base with his foot right at ball level of the second baseman and interferes with the play. That's a foul, man.
Number.
Ground
Watch
ball
this
to second.
interference.
Pennington goes to Simmons for 1
Whoa,
and doesn't have a
he
relay.
shut the guy down, man.
Going
You
in
can't
hard
do that
is
shit.
Xander Bogaerts
That
is
shit is
second.
foul.
Double
And
play.
it's a double play.
Bang.
Broke the rule, the slide rule.
Fuck you, man. It was
Second
no
base
referee ball
umpire.
sack.
Adam Hamari making the
He literally punched him in the
Gomez
ball sack.
bunting.
There's another
and
one.
It looks
Oh, he
like
kicked
he
the
made
ball.
contact.
You see what I'm saying about interference? If it's sports, if it's football or baseball, foul, timeout, and there's just a little problem, right? It's cheating, right? The guy knows what he's doing when he slides into second base. He's trying to prevent the guy from throwing it to first, right? And what's the penalty? It's out anyway. There is no penalty. The guy slide, right? So that's what interference looks like in sports. But you see this other nefarious type of interference throughout. But I want to talk about this guy firstly, because this story doesn't make sense. What did James Toback do? Right? Accused of sexual misconduct by over 3 dozen women. All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, James Toback, a kind of a third-rate movie maker. He hasn't made anything that's spectacular, really. Very dark kind of movies. But for some reason, I find this article highly suspect. Now, I don't know for sure, but they're going after him. Why here, why now, is what you always have to ask. Why all of a sudden 30 women stand up and accuse James Toback of misconduct? Right? So, over 36 women filed a joint lawsuit against alleged serial sexual predator James Toback. Right? In the court documents obtained by page 6 of the Post, the women claim the director, quote, used his reputation, power, and influence in the entertainment industry to lure young women through fraud, coercion, force, and intimidation into compromising situations where he falsely imprisoned, sexually abused, assaulted, and or battered them. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that 30 women were fucking abused and assaulted and never said anything about it? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. See, here's what you have is essentially this. You have young women trying are willing, ready, willing, and able to do anything to get a break in the Hollywood world. I'll do anything. What do I have to do? I got to drop to my knees in front of that old man? Okay, I'll do it. I have to turn around and drop my drawers for that other dirty old man? Okay, I'll do it. They sign up for it. Young women sign up. They'll take, as George Carlin famously said, hey, man, I'll take a shot in the mouth for a ride. That's crude, but that's what he said. So something is very fishy about this story. Why all these women popping out of a bowl of rice 38 years later? 38 years later, where's the evidence? In fact, the disgraced director allegedly told numerous victims he had murdered them. Yeah, this is bullshit. This is a bullshit story. Women, he said, they say he would make women, quote, act provocatively and perform sexual acts on him to see if they were right for the alleged role. So why would you bend over if you didn't think it was acceptable, right? Here's a guy who makes movies, and he wants to get a little behind-the-scenes action to find out if you're the right person for the part. And you show up and say, wow, this is fucked up, but I really want that part. Okay, I'll do it. So that is consensual. Right? It's consensual. You're inviting yourself into the circle of a guy who's horny, and this is how he operates. Right? It's in all his movies. Right? You know who he is. You even know what kind of movie he's trying to make. You know everything about this guy. And now, 38 years later, you want to complain that you were sexually assaulted because you dropped to your knees to get a part in a movie? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, right? Now, I'm sure he did some other more aggressive types of things, and they're trying to link him here to Henry Weinstein. Right? He graduated in 1966. I'm just not buying it. Who is this guy, right? So he's an American film director, screenwriter of Bugsy. What about his early life? It looks like he came from a New York City, Manhattan childhood, only child, well-to-do household. His mother was president of League of Women Voters and a moderate of political debates on NBC. So his mother was a journalist. He was a journalist for a while before he became a screenwriter. I got to say, man, I got to say that this sounds politically driven. I don't know what to make of it yet, but I don't like it. It smells funny. There's something funny about that story. So let's move on. So we're going to talk about so that guy is while he's out there allegedly groping young women, Look at our president. Remember this guy? Remember Joe Biden? Here's Joe Biden. He'll kiss anybody. He'll stick his tongue in anybody's mouth. He'll grab tits and ass and molest young children. No problem. You want to give me a kiss? Oh, man. Don't worry about that. That's my wallet, not my package. Just come in close. Oh, I'll kiss the old woman. Oh, I like you, man. You're sexy, man. Right? Right? See, if you're in Joe Biden's presence, you know this is going to happen. Right? Joe Biden might slip you the tongue. Right? Right? There's so many. Oh, man. Oh, she's hot, man. I'll be Joe Biden. Oh, man. I want to get some of this, man. God loves you, man. Holy mackerel, he said. Oh, look, he likes kids, too. Touching the kids. Keep your hands off the kids, Joe. He grabbed onto that one, wouldn't let her go. That's sexual assault. He told a young girl to stand here and don't move for the photo. That's bad. Right? Oh, yeah. He's a sexual predator, all right, Joe Biden. He loves to put his hands on. Oh, here, look at this kid. Come here, kid. Come here, kid. Let me stick my tongue in your ear. I don't give a fuck about COVID. Oh, get your hands off the kids, Joe. Keep your hands off the children, Joe. Oh, look at this one. Oh, I like her. He's going to give her the hip hug. He's got his hand 3 inches off her tit. Come here, girl. She's 15. Oh, yes. Ooh, ooh. He's always pulling in the hot chick. Right? Right? You don't see him snuggling with the old lady. You see him snuggling with the young. Oh, look at this one. Oh, I like her, man. Come here, man. Come here. You stand next to me, man. We're gonna. Oh, yes. Yes. He continuously tells the young men with the hot young girls. He says, "Oh, you got good taste. Oh, you got good taste." Look, he won't let the girl go. The woman's trying to break away from him. He's holding her. He's holding on. Right? Is this sexual harassment? Is this groping? Is this misconduct? Well, it looks like Kubak, or whatever the fuck his name is, the guy we just talked about, is catching heat for it. But there you go, man. On an epic level, there's so many other videos of Joe Biden groping young kids, holding kids, rubbing their stomachs, rubbing under their tits. Right? He's a pervert. He's an old pervert, right? But anyway, here this is okay. So while that's happening, right? I just made a comparison that has nothing to do with election integrity, but I just wanted to show you the hypocrisy behind how the media operates, right? And the White House. So check this out. This is your press secretary saying that the release of Twitter's files on how Hunter Biden's story was censored is not healthy, right? How dare you release a story that says the FBI interfered in an American election by stifling a story that would have hit 50 million people, and they would have come up with a different opinion of Joe Biden if the story was allowed to be heard, right? Jean Paré, the press secretary, is saying, "Oh, it's an unhealthy story." Let's listen to her in her own words. Tell you what it is.
We see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction.
So Twitter is haphazardly pushing a distraction. So it's bad, it's haphazardous to release something that it reveals fraud by the FBI using the long arm of law enforcement in an election cycle. That's haphazardous to talk about that. It's a distraction. It's not really what people want to hear.
That is a full of old news, if you think about it.
Oh, it's old news. Oh, it's old news. We don't talk about old news anymore. it's old news that we find out that the owner of Twitter has reported that the FBI interfered in the 2020 election? You don't think that you think that that's breaking fucking news. It's not old news.
And at the same time, Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about the rising volume of anger, hate.
That Twitter, see how she flips it? Twitter is facing allegations of hate, which are totally false.
About the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform.
There is no such thing. There is no rising anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on Twitter. You're lying, right? So there's the gaslight, right? She's gaslighting the American people on the platform of the White House, right? All of the things she said are false. Listen to it again.
We see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly,
He being Elon Musk.
Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction. That is a full of old news.
Push a distraction that's full of old news. Total lie, total gaslight. Let's go.
If you think about it. And at the same time, Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about.
Facing very real and serious questions. You mean like they're going to be investigated by the FBI for something? What are they going to be investigated for? There's no look. Elon Musk already told you that these allegations are false. In fact, these types of things, these types of commentary by kooks that go after gays and blacks or whatever they do, those types of attacks are actually going down now that you have a freer platform.
About the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform, and how
Not
they're
true.
letting it happen. And
It's not true, right? This is election interference. This is what it looks like. You're vilifying Twitter because Twitter is about to make public discourse again and not allowing it to be controlled by a fake media that these people control. You see how it works? You got to stop that, right? At any cost. It doesn't matter if you fucking lie from the podium of the White House. It doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that we win.
the president said last week, more leaders need to speak out and reject this. And it's a very
More leaders. Where's our leaders? Where's our Democratic hacks? We need more of them to come out and denounce what Twitter is doing. Right? What is Twitter doing? See, the bigger problem is not so much what Twitter's doing, but the fact that the FBI interfered in the process. That's the fucking problem, right? We'll blame Twitter all we want. We'll blame each other all we want, but we have a law enforcement agency that is deeply off the fucking rails right now.
alarming and very dangerous. But our focus right now is helping the American families. I just talked about what the president's going to be doing in Arizona.
Now change it to, what we're doing to help the American people. No, if you want to help the American people, I'll stop it right there. If you want to help the American people, stop fucking lying from the podium at the White House and start telling people the truth. Move to the goddamn middle already. That's what politicians are supposed to do when they get elected. Move to the middle and say, well, there's some validity to what the owner of Twitter, a $54 billion company, is saying. He's saying that the FBI put their thumb on the scale during 2020. But we're not going to listen to it. It's a distraction. Why? Because your guy won? Your guy, quote, won? And to acknowledge that the FBI may have acted nefariously is to say that your guy may not have won or may not have won so bigly. And there may have been, what else did you stuff? Right? It's not that you did it. It's not that you tried to cover it up then. You're covering it up right fucking now. Yesterday, the White House is trying to cover the story, trying to cover it up that the FBI had nothing to do with Hunter Biden laptop story being stifled. Nothing, right? The FBI, they didn't
Talking about the Chips and Science Act, talking about.
All right, so there you go. Another one. Here's Facebook. Now this is really rather fascinating. Here is Mark Zuckerberg, who it appears to be being very honest, but his perception of reality is so fucking off. It's unbelievable. So let's read this. Check this out. Facebook's parent company Meta warned Monday that the social media giant could remove news from its platform if Congress signs off on a proposal that would make it easier for news organizations to bargain collectively with tech giants. So Congress is coming to, they're throwing this bill into a defense bill and trying to get it passed, where it says that Congress would have some sort of say in what kind of news Facebook broadcasts, right? In a bid to rescue the lagging local news industry, lawmakers are considering adding the proposed Journalism Competition and Preservation Act. Yeah, right. To a must-pass annual defense bill that could help smaller news outlets fight for a larger share of revenue from companies like Google and Facebook. Right? Now, that's not going to happen, right? No one is going to support the little guy. The little guy has to be brilliant and be better than and rise up amongst the ranks. That's healthy competition, right? But not according to Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg says it's all about the money. He says, why would I give independent media a platform at all on my fucking channel? See, I own Facebook. Facebook is not it's not neutral. I own it. And I take the money from large news organizations that pay me. What do these independent guys do? They don't do anything. All they do is take. They don't pay us. They ride our platform for their own gain. That's Mark Zuckerberg's perception of what's happening. He fails to realize that the thing that gets platforms like him going are the people. People looking for real information, real people speaking their minds. That was the glory of Facebook. That was the success of YouTube, right? But to Mark Zuckerberg, it doesn't help me anymore, right? These people are not paying me. Big news, big media is coming in and dumping millions and millions of dollars into my pocket. Why do I give a shit about what those little guys are saying? I don't care if it's fake. I don't care if it's gaslighting the American people. I don't care if it's election interference. Fuck all that. Just give me the money. Right? And he says it in his own words, right? So Zuckerberg is basically saying, if this bill comes into law, they're not going to allow news on their platform at all. Which, what is news? What is politics? It's discussion about the current time. So now we'll get into the argument of, oh, no, you can't say that on our platform because that's politics and we don't allow politics. You see how they can go one step further? No. We have our own stories about our own stuff. You're talking about politics. We don't allow that on our platform. And the censorship increases, right? Oh, God, get out of the way, right? Just get out of the way. Right? So look at this very revealing statement out of Facebook. Quote, rather than submit to government-mandated negotiations that unfairly disregard any value we provide to news outlets through increased traffic and subscriptions. See, that's the real deal right there. That all they care about is adding value to news outlets through increased traffic and subscriptions. All they care about is the revenue. And in their eyes, independent media no longer represents increased revenue. They don't care about jacking up readership. They already maxed out. They're number one, right? Facebook. Facebook's the number one, and number two, YouTube. Or you could change those interactively. But the point is, Mark Zuckerberg really, really, honestly, doesn't care about free speech or independent news or public opinion or fair elections. He cares about the money that the news companies are paying him. And they're saying, get rid of these conspiratorial quacks that unwind every single one of our stories in real time. Right? Get rid of them. Right? They're dishonest. You follow what's going on? So that's what Zuckerberg is up to. Zuckerberg, now, will this bill pass? Amy Klobuchar, I don't know, fucking lefty Democrat is pushing the bill. I'd like to see what else is in the bill. But it is interesting how Mark Zuckerberg says, we're not gonna conform to any government regulation on who we take money from and promote, right? AKA news, right? So it obviously raises the question that we don't have real news anymore. All we have is pay-for-play propaganda, right? And anybody that moves to the middle and professes actual news, like maybe this channel, is considered cyberbullying, cyber hacking, misinformation, conspiratorial nonsense, bullying. It couldn't be clearer what's going on. I mean, really. So there's also Letitia James, right, a renowned racist who once upon a time controlled the New York State Division of Human Rights as the commissioner, who got kicked out less than a year in for overt, fucking favoritism for gays, is now in the spotlight again. So, election interference, right? Internal documents confirm AG Letitia James knew about AIDS sexual harassment scandal before the election, right? But never said anything about it, right? Instead, they were going after their enemy. They were so busy going after Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, Henry Weinberg, or whatever his name was, Weinstein. All right. But listen to this. Internal documents released by Letitia James herself confirmed she knew about sexual harassment allegations lobbed against a longtime top aide for more than a month before Election Day. So, breaking story, one of her own is accused of sexual harassment. And what does she do? She shuts the story down before the election. Right? Her election. Right? There she is, campaigning, projected winner, attorney general. Right? She won the election, but she interfered with it. By what? By not doing her job. She's the attorney general. She's supposed to air out sexual harassment charges against anybody, and she failed to do it. So anyway, ding! Oh my God, the market's open. Holy shit! It's been open for 18 minutes, and we don't know what's going on. So Mark's Conte reporting on the markets right now. Looks like the Nasdaq is down at this moment. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 58 points. S&P down 16. So we got a red day right now. Everything red. Everything in the red. Why? Investors can't miss the forest for the trees. Conflicting data, they say. All right. So what do we got? Dow Jones Industrial Average down 58. Apple down 50 cents. Amazon down 51 cents. Google down 49 cents. Meta down $5 on the news that he's not going to let news on his platform. You see how it affects the stock price? What? You're not going to let news on Facebook? What? Bang, down 4% today. You see how the news affected it? Zuckerberg is a jackass. He's out there telling shareholders that no news? Huh? All right. We're not going to play ball with that government agency. And they're going to circle the toilet for not doing it. Right? So Microsoft down 30 cents. Tesla down $3.50. The great Elon Musk his company. How's the oh my God, the Moderna, the holy vaccine stocks, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, all down today. People are down on the vaccine, man. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow they'll be up on it. How's the war stocks doing? Let's look at those. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, mixed. Looks like Raytheon up 40 cents. Lockheed Martin down $1. Let's look at a big picture. The Dow Jones Industrial Average actually has been up of late. Let's look at the daily. Let's look at the daily chart of the Dow Jones. And you see how the Dow Jones Industrial Average is really, really not too shabby. It's actually way at the top. Look at this rally. Is it going to come down again? Is the rally over? Or is it going to hang there? Now, the NASDAQ hasn't been so fortunate. The NASDAQ can't break out of this level, but the S&P 500 sure did. Look at these breakouts, right? Bouncing off this line. It needs to get up there and stay up there now. So we'll watch that. So my name is Mark Sconti, and that's really all I got today, man. I'm kind of winded right now. That means it was a good show, man. Ruby Jewel says, I absolutely love how Marcus does stocks. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Hey, Buddha Girl, how you doing? Buddha Girl's in the house. Buddha Girl in the house. Rhonda Charles, welcome everybody. Welcome. And